Once again, happy Monday, beautiful people. Welcome back to Conversations with Cree. So, as you already know, the topic we've been talking about this month of November has been grief, learning to live after loss. Today, I'm going to touch more on grieving the loss of people who are still living, meaning the people that, they haven't passed away, but the relationship has ended for whatever reason. That could be friendships, relationships such as, couples, significant others, family members. And that kind of piggybacks off of what we talked about last week about, forgiving and having a conversation with people that maybe you haven't talked to. There have been, some disagreements, and why it's important to try to, talk to these people and get it off your chest and move forward if you can, because there's nothing worse than losing someone when you haven't been in contact or having communication. So with this topic, the loss of people who are still living, sometimes is just as hard to and just as sad as losing someone, like if they're passed away, because sometimes it's even harder because that person is still here and maybe there's no closure. You haven't talked to them, you haven't seen eye to eye. Sometimes you don't even know what caused the rift in the relationship, but it just ended. And I'm going to speak on so many different scenarios of this topic today. So every week I like to start with a Bible verse, and this week the Bible verse is from Psalm 73:26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Now, what that means to me is, as a human, I will grow weak, but God will be with me forever. We as humans, we think we are so strong, and we can be, but it's times where, we go through hurt and physical ailments, mental ailments, and sometimes we just can't do it on our own. So we look for something bigger or higher than us to help us along this journey of life. And God is the person that I look to, and I think that you all should as well, because He will always be there for us, to guide us, to help us through whatever we're going through. So with grief, it's such a hard thing to deal with, especially during the holidays, because this is a time where we all supposed to come together with your friends, your family, your significant others, and it's a special time of the year. But sometimes we have those breakups, falling out with our friends, that we're not speaking anymore, or it had just ended, and it's just so heartbreaking. And I have a lot of experience with this, unfortunately, but in so many different aspects. But we're gonna talk about that. So like I said, I already recapped from last week, and if you was not able to catch the live, they always repost here on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch, so you can catch up from when I first started posting, which was in October. And I'm gonna be honest about something. Doing this has not been comfortable, and I say this every time because it really isn't, and I just want everybody to understand how uncomfortable this is for me, to be in front of the camera and speaking about things. This is very new to me, but God had put it on my heart to do so, and that's why I'm continuing to do it. But it had been times, every time I do a live, I always question myself and say, am I doing the right thing? Do I want to continue? And a lot of times I'm like, oh well, I won't do it next week, or I'll just wait, because I just don't know if I'm being impactful or if it's doing what I needed to do. But God will always send you confirmation. And over the past week, I have got double confirmation from two people that said that my last live really helped them to reevaluate some things and want to reach out to whoever they was not, in communication with, and try to mend those relationships. So that was something I needed to hear, because I always say, if I can reach one person, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what God has called me to do. So those people know who they are. So thank you so much for that once again, because you really have helped me to continue doing what I'm doing. So moving forward, grief. It's something so hard to deal with and on so many levels. And everybody deals with grief differently. We all, process differently from our experiences in life. Um, and also, I mean, of course, losing someone to death, like they're not here anymore, that's probably the worst type of grief. But I feel that the grief of losing someone that's still living is right there in some ways, because it can be so hard to deal with loss, especially if you don't understand why it's happening, why a person has either left your life or you've had to remove yourself. And it's just the hardest thing to deal with, because you're used to those people being there, whether that's friendship, whether, like I said, it's a relationship with a spouse, significant other, or if it's family members. It can be so many different things. So friendships, as we know, can be some of the most wonderful relationships we have. Um, Ever since I can remember, I always longed to have the friendship or sisterhood, or not even just from women, but guys if possible, because I think, we all long for that. And when you have somebody in your corner that understands you and y'all vibe and y'all have a lot of things in common, it's just, you know, nothing that can top that. Um, but it's been situations where people fall out, whether it be because someone did something to them, it was miscommunication, but we're all human, so it happens. But it's also times where, in my case, a lot of my friendships have ended over the years with just people removing themselves. Maybe just cutting communication, and it had made me question myself a lot. Like, dang, um, especially after it happened more than once. I'm like, is this something I'm doing? And honestly, I never, with most of the relationships, I never even got closure because we never really spoke about it. Or if we did have a conversation, it just didn't make sense. So I would just have to be okay with moving forward, knowing that, people have disagreements. And, that's life. But I can't sit here and act like it doesn't affect me or it doesn't hurt when it happens. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's my mother in law. She's on here. So when you all comment, y'all can actually, you know, type in whatever you want to say, and I can see it real time, and I will respond to it. And that's what I want to happen more, so I can engage with you all, and that's what the conversations will be about. We can talk to each other. Um, hey, Lamelia, my BFF is on here. So supportive. I really appreciate you. So yeah, so friendships can be a hard thing, just relationships, period, because we all communicate different. We all, view things differently. We are um, affected differently by different things that people do, and sometimes we're not able to communicate it. And so it blows up, and sometimes we never get a chance to discuss it. So the friendships just end, and it can be just a hurtful thing. And another big thing is relationships with partners, with significant others, whether it's marriages or just someone you've been with. That's someone you open yourself up to in a way where you probably have never opened yourself up to anyone else. So when those relationships end, it's really heartbreaking, and depending on how it happens, for sure. And I've heard of people, having relationships and they end the relationship mutual because they decide, it's just not working. We're just going to end it here so it doesn't get too bad. And that's awesome if people can do that. But a lot of times it doesn't work that way. And of course, family members, they're not exempt from relationships ending. And I've dealt with this as well. Not only, and that can be tricky too, because not that they completely end, because your family is your family. So maybe you will see them during the holidays or family functions. A lot of times funerals, which is horrible, but that's when a lot of families see each other, and it's just no communication. So you don't even talk to your family, or you're not even understanding, okay, maybe you upset about something, maybe it's you, because it's not just one side, it could be both ways. But it's even harder because they're still around, and you just trying to process what's going on, what happened. And sometimes our pride can also get in the way, where we say, I don't care, I'm not even gonna deal with it. But it's heartbreaking. So just like what I talked about in my last live about when you lose people and you you're mourning, you're going through the the motions, trying to figure it out, and the relationship is ended. Sometimes the best thing to do is just remember the good times you had with each other, because I'm sure at some point y'all was friends for a reason. So you've enjoyed some time together. You have done showed up for them, they probably have showed up for you. So just hold on to those memories of the good times and not try to stay in the negative all the time. And I know that's harder said than done, or easier said than done, but that's what we have to do sometimes to just move forward. And hopefully one day you all can have a conversation and figure out what went wrong, but sometimes that's not meant to happen. And the main thing I've learned and been learning in these however many years that I've been going through these transitions with friendship, even family, and even intimate relationships, is that everyone is in your life. And I know y'all have heard this before, but I'm gonna say it, for a reason or season or a lifetime. Because you have some people that's gonna be there forever until you leave this earth. But everybody is not supposed to stay. They're supposed to be with you on for a reason, season, maybe to help you through some hard times, for you to, experience things together, for them to teach you something, you to teach them something, and it's just not gonna last forever. And yes, we don't like that, but that's just life. It is. It's life. And what I have come to learn also is that God definitely will place people in your life, as you go on a journey, either to help you see something a different way, to help you elevate, to open some doors for you, and you do the same for them. But once that comes to an end, then we must move along. And that's just the path that we are on. A lot of times when you are elevating to the next level of your life, because we all should be elevating at all times. This is something that we should be doing. We should not be staying stuck in our situations and just doing the same things because we're not growing. And I'm preaching to myself as well when I say that, because I'm a creature of habit and I love to be comfortable. And if it's uncomfortable for me, I don't want to do it. So, but anytime I've stepped out of my comfort zone and went to the next level, it always was successful, because we have to continue to grow and elevate if we want to just, be successful in this life. So one of the friendships that ended for me, and I'm gonna tell this story, but I'm gonna tell why it was needed. And I had to look back, even though I was hurt about it ending, and I can look back at so many of my relationships and know why they ended, or why we were friends to begin with. But it is some that I still have no closure about. I have no understanding of why they maybe ended the relationship or whatever, but maybe that'll come later, or maybe it's not for me to understand. It's God's plan. But this one particular relationship, is when I did hair school. I had went to this hair school in Tinley Park called Regency Hair Institute, which is no longer open. But it was a young lady, who started at the same time with me. We were similar age. We had a lot in common. We both were married, had children, and we ended up in the same rotation. And we were just like so close. We did so much together. And throughout the whole time, everybody knew us to be friends. So anytime you seen her, you seen me. And towards the end of us completing, our school time or whatever, and getting ready for graduation, all of a sudden, she just changed. And she was not, talking to me. It was like really kind of like she iced me out. And I was like, what's going on? So I thought maybe, she was going through some things. So I'm like, I'm an understanding person. Maybe, she just in a bad spot right now. I'm going to give her some space. But then I started to realize that she was speaking to other people, no problem. And I'm like, oh, it's me that she's avoiding. It's me who she don't want to speak to. So I definitely tried to have a conversation to find out what was going on and, see if we can move past it. But what she was telling me just did not make sense. And then I just came to realize, like, oh, it's not for me to understand. And I probably won't ever understand. And to this day, Once we graduated, I've never seen her but maybe once, and we spoke, we seen each other, but that was it. And there was other people around that witnessed it, and I was asking them, like, did y'all see anything like that I'm missing? And they was kind of like, no, um we don't really know what happened, but hey, things happen. But as I really kind of sat with that experience and asked God to kind of give me clarity, I realized that me and her friendship was only supposed to be for that time that we was in school, because at the time we were like maybe the oldest two in our class. It maybe was one more person that was older than us, but we had the most in common, and we had so much similarities that we were able to be supportive of one another going through that program. So that's what I pretty much came away from it with, is that we were supposed to be together for that time, to get through what we was going through, to finish that task, and then after that, that was it. So after realizing that, I kind of had some comfort and some closure, and that's just my perspective. I'm not saying maybe that's what happened, but being the person who believes in God and that He will do things in a certain way, that's what I believe, and that gives me a little closure. But yeah, you know, and I can't say that I'm a very sensitive person. If you don't know that, a lot of things hurt my feelings so easily. But once, if I call you a friend, then that's what I mean. Like, you are my friend. If I do anything for you, it's out the kindness of my heart. I'm not looking for nothing else in return. It's stuff for you to return. You being a friend to me, like I'm a friend to you. So I'm sure I'm gonna keep living, and I'm gonna have more heartache with people. But I'm actually in this season of being by myself and learning to love my own company and not dependent on who's in my life, such as friends. And don't get me wrong, I value my friends, the ones that's in my life, and the way they show up for me. And I know if I call any one of them, they will be there, and vice versa. But sometimes we have to be put or isolated, so we can kind of evaluate situations and think about things, and God would do that too. And that's something that I also have been learning on this faith walk of mine, and learning who God is, who He is in my life, and that He will remove people, whether you want them to be removed or not. Or if you're not leaving these people, or you are not strong enough to cut these relationships, He will remove them. And you just be like, what happened? But it had to happen for you to elevate, or just because that season ended. And I'm learning this more and more. And I'm sure the more I live, the more I will realize these things are true. It don't make it easier though, y'all. It don't. And like I said, you just want to be thankful for the time and the memories that was spent together. Um and I mean, that can make you sad too, just thinking about it, because you go back, because I am going through another loss of a friend that's still alive, but we're no longer really in communication. But we had done a lot of things over the years. We have been friends for over 20 years, or about 20 years, or a little less, because I met her before my 20-year-old was born. And a lot of the memories that we share are popping up in my memories currently. So yes, it does make you feel some type of way. It does break your heart. But I just gotta believe that if it's meant to be, it'll come back around, if that's what is meant to be. If not, then I'm just gonna remember the good times, and what we were to each other, because we didn't end on bad terms. It just was, communication was cut. So I have no ill feelings. I just want to understand what happened. That's all. And one main thing I always tell people, and this is speaking from experience too, because I've been one to say I'm not gonna, allow people in anymore. I'm gonna, treat people how they treat me. I'm gonna, you know, be very cautious, because when you get hurt, you kind of put your guard up. And that's not only in friendships, that's in relationships with, significant others and family. But I used to tell my husband all the time, I must treat people how they treat me. And he always would laugh and say, no, you're not, because that's not even your character. God didn't make you that way. You have a big heart, and you should continue to, do the things that you've been doing. Don't let nobody change you. Don't let the situations, that you have with people change you, because you are who you are for a reason. God made you that way for a reason. Hey, Essence, I'm so happy you can join. So, yeah. So I've learned, like, you know what? In the moment, I'm so heated, I'm so mad that, forget everybody. I'm not going to let nobody hurt me no more. I'm not even want no friendships, but that's not who I am. So I'm just going to continue to be who I am and just learn from what the experience I'm having and continue just moving forward. And that's all I can do. And I hope that for everybody, no matter what you've been through, don't let it change you. Continue being who God made you to be, because the people that's supposed to be in your life will be there. They will find you, and vice versa. And another thing, which is so true, and we all know this, we are here for a limited amount of time. Don't waste it being bitter. Don't waste it not being able to forgive. And that's a big one for me, because um I've had to forgive a lot, and it's something that is not easy. It's not easy for anyone, but it's more, and I spoke on this in some past lives that I did, is that it's not for the person that hurt you. It's for you to be able to move forward. We have to forgive. We can't just live our life in, being bitter, being hurt, because we can't live that way. You're not living. You're just not. So if you just don't know how to do it, pray. Pray to God to help you, to figure out how to do this. Like I said, it's all kinds of professionals these days, therapists, counselors that can help you. And just have grace with yourself. Have grace. I had to learn to give myself grace, and not to continue to look to the past, but look to, the present, because the present is what I'm living now, and I can't do nothing about what happened back then. And so, that's the best advice I could give anyone. Just let God in, let him help you, because he's real, and he will help you through it. Definitely. Definitely. And another one of the stories I want to tell is um about my sister, and how certain relationships can end or not be the same, and it feels like a loss because they're not the same people, or that you want to have a relationship with, because of addiction, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or whatever type of addiction can change a person. And me and my sister, we the only two. I don't have any brothers or no more sisters. We are the only two kids of my mom. And it's been very hard over the years, because I have wanted to have a relationship with my sister that looks a certain way, but I haven't been able to because of addiction. But also her traumas, she's been through so many things. And I pray for her daily, every day, for her healing. But I know that's going to be in God's timing. And I had to learn that it was nothing I could do but just continue to love her. But I can't fix her. But I definitely went through a stage of grief, and feeling lost, because she's not the person that I remember. A lot of times we cannot have a relationship, so I had to really come to a point where I had to let go and let God, meaning I was not communicating as much. I had to just kind of cut myself off, because it was very hard to see her in that light. But all I'm going to say about that is, I know that God is going to do what he said he would do, and he's going to heal her, and she's going to be better for it. The experiences that she's going to, she's going to be able to help other people. She's going to be able to tell her story. Hey, Erica, thank you for joining. And I'm just looking forward to that day where we can have that relationship, and we can, love each other and be together in a healthy way. And I'm gonna be shouting it to the rooftops, y'all. Y'all gonna know about it, because I'm gonna tell y'all, and she gonna be on here with me. So just remember I said this. Just remember I said this, because it's gonna happen. But I'm just, like I said, just doing the work that God put me here to do. I now realize that so many things I've been through, it was a purpose. It was for me to be able to help others. And that's what I always wanted to do. Today I was sitting just thinking about, like, when I was a little girl, what was it that I wanted to do? Like, when it came to profession, what was it? And there was multiple things. I wanted to be a police officer at one point. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to, um, what else? A nurse, a lawyer. But one thing that this all those things had in common was I was helping people. And later in life, I have prayed about what it is I should be doing. And your wife, I didn't know it then, but I'm so happy that we met. I'm so happy. My husband said I want to be his wife. That's what I want to be. I did want to be a wife. I really believe that. So yeah, God made that happen. He brought us together. Um, but everything that was, with all those professions where I was helping people. And recently, maybe when the kids were a little younger and I was like trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, I wanted to go to school and study to become a therapist because I wanted to help people. And I've had so many different experiences with not only my own situations, but family and just dealing with my children. And I just feel like I can help because I've had those experiences. But back when I was trying to go to school, my schedule was so hectic, I did not finish. So God has been putting on my heart that maybe that's something that I should continue. And I'm thinking I will one day. I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm going to leave it up to him if that's what I'm supposed to do. But in the meantime, with me being being a hairstylist and people sitting in my chair, that actually is putting me in that position to be able to talk to people or have people talk to me with no judgment and the conversations that we have. And that's where this kind of came from, the title Conversations with Cree, because I'm able to talk to people and they always tell me, I feel so comfortable in your presence. I feel so comfortable having these conversations with you. And I'm like, I think that was just the gift God gave me. And hopefully, the more I do this and I continue on this path, God will open doors and let people that need to see my videos, see them. And hopefully, they can see themselves in me and know that they can continue doing what they need to do for themselves, no matter what they've been through. And the main thing I can say is we have to tell our stories because us telling our stories, we're helping the next person. You never know who you can help. When those two individuals told me that what I talked about last week was so helpful for them and they wanted to pursue many relationships, people they haven't talked to or have not been in communication with, that just blessed me so much. I was just like, wow, it's actually helping people. So definitely going to continue doing the work that the Lord has put me here to do, be that bright light. And hopefully, this will open doors for bigger and better things. Or I would be able to, go to school if that's what's supposed to happen. But I'm just going to continue being who I am and spreading the messages and telling about how good God has been to me, because that's all. This is my story. This is what happened to me, and I'm blessed beyond measure. No matter what I've been through, no matter what I'm dealing with daily, it could be worse. So once again, I just want to thank everybody for your continued support. The ones that have been coming and viewing my lives, the ones that's sharing, the ones that's commenting, the ones that's keeping me, in a positive light, because it is so appreciated. Y'all just do not know. Y'all do not know. God is so good. And there's always a purpose for what is happening. It really is. No matter if it seemed bad at the time, it's the purpose. It's a greater purpose. We just gotta, you know, try our best to make it through. Oh, thank you, Erica. That means a lot to me because, I'm just me. Sometimes, I don't have the confidence that I probably should have, and I talk myself down from a lot of things, and I've been doing that for a long time. I'm living in fear of what if, what if it doesn't work. But like I said, every time I step out of my comfort zone, I'm always successful. So I guess I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm just gonna keep on because it seems to be working, And it's helping me. It's not just helping the next person, it's helping me to heal as well, to tell these stories, to get on here every week, to, you know, to be able to see what God is doing, what he has done, and what he is going to do in my life. And all of us, you know, are here and we have a purpose. And I just want to be an example of, you know, finding out what your purpose is and going on that path. We all can do it. We just gotta put the work in. We just gotta put the work in and do the work to heal. Mainly, we gotta heal. We have to heal. So that's gonna do it for this week. For this live, and I am so thankful for everyone that's here tonight. And like I say, every week I just hope that I have more people on so that we can, you know, interact with each other, the conversation can continue. And you all make sure that you join me next Monday, the same time, the same place. You don't want to miss this next conversation. And I actually don't know what it's going to be about next Monday, but I definitely will be putting things out on Instagram, you know. Um, oh, thank you, BFF. I really appreciate that. I really do. Y'all just do not understand. Like the feedback I'm getting is really helping me to continue. Thank you, Erica, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope y'all have a great evening. I will see y'all next time. Bye.